Hi, my name's Scott, and this video covers tags, styles, camera projection, and scenes. Let's take a look at tags. We're going to start by navigating to the window, and we're going to select tags. It's going to give us a toolbox over here on the side. If you're in Windows, this may already be in the side here. Now what tags do functionally for us is they help organize the model, and they give us an ability to view and hide parts of the model, whether it's groups, components, or individual elements. So for example, if we take the house, let's say if we create a tag called house, and then we select the house, pull down menu, select the tag for house. Now this house is on the house tag, which means we can hide and view the house. This can be particularly helpful if we're trying to get a particular angle where the house would be in the way, and now we can see. It's helpful for designs that are tight and you need to be able to get into a hard spot and view, again, a different angle. It can also be really helpful for creating tags for when you're preparing the model for layout, because when you're creating a layout document, you may want to hide, say, the overhang of the roof. When you've got a top-down plan view, you want to see where the wall meets the ground and not the overhang of the roof. So it can be really helpful for preparing the model for layout. As I mentioned, individual pieces of geometry can also be on a tag, and you can hide them together. Lastly, tags can be placed into folders. Let's say we have one for plants, and then we want to create one folder for existing. The tags can then be placed within the folder. And let's go ahead and bring over a plant. These are individual SketchUp models that I've either collected or created. There's a lot on the SketchUp warehouse available, and there's also websites that you can purchase these models from, like from Dynascape. They have a SketchUp model pack that you can purchase. So here's, let's say we've got this Woodgelia wine and rose, and we put it on the plants tag. You'll notice that a few other tags also came in with this model, and the reason for that is that when that individual model, you bring that SketchUp document or that SketchUp model into your model, it's going to bring the tags with it. So this individual SketchUp model of a Woodgelia number 2, this here has these tags inside of this drawing, inside of this model, and they are transferred into your new model. That can be really helpful. It could also be difficult if you've downloaded a model from the 3D warehouse and there's a bunch of tags that were maybe really useful for that specific model, but with how those tags work within what you're looking for, it can create some confusion here with a bunch of layers. If you want to delete a tag, you can right click and hit delete tag. It'll ask if you'd like to assign it to a tag, or if you'd like to delete it, we'll just assign it to untagged. Same for this tag here. So now we've got a folder where we've got 2 different tags. I can turn on and off the plant. I could hide and view the house. I could also do it by the whole folder. And that is tags. Next up, we'll go to Window, and now we're going to select Styles. Now what the Styles tool menu allows us to do is to view the model through different, view it like different lenses. So for example, we've got this view where it changes the background and it's green. We've got a wireframe view. We've got a shaded view, which is similar to wireframe, but you wouldn't be able to see through objects. We've got a shaded without textures and various different views. We've got an X-ray. The views that I use the most is when I'm doing a top-down plan, I'll use either a hidden line without color or a shaded without textures, because the documents for the specs typically don't need to show the texture pavers, and so it helps just save on detail. It's easier to draw dimensions and make annotations on this. Same with the shaded. So that's what those scenes are used for. The X-ray scene can also be very helpful if you have a survey or a Google Earth image that you are bringing into your SketchUp to scale. You can use the X-ray style to be able to place the house, and maybe we'll show how to do that in another video. So these are the styles that are the most helpful. You can pick whichever you like to draw with. My personal preference is the original with a little bit of green in the background, just easy on my eyes, and it's just a style that I like to use. So that is styles. We'll get to the third, which is scenes, but before we do this, I'd like to show you one thing about camera. So just a moment ago, we were looking at a top-down view, and you may have noticed a problem when you use a top-down view. Even if you go to camera, standard view, and you do a top view, you'll notice that because the roof is higher than the ground, it's wider. But we know technically these walls go straight down to the same point. So why does it look that way? The reason it looks that way is because we have a perspective style of camera here. So if I go to top-down view, and I select camera, and I select parallel projection, that's what will turn this model into a 2D top-down view. Now, if you orbit it, it's going to look a little weird. So that's going to be helpful in our next step here when we talk about scenes. Now, what a scene is it is you're capturing and saving elements of how the model looks. So you'll save the style, it'll save a particular tag, camera position, and also whether it was parallel or perspective position. So for example, I could create this angle right here. I like this style. Let's pick a style that's got a white background because we're creating a scene for a presentation and we want to show this off. And so we will click either add, the plus sign here. We can also go to view, animation, add scene. You can also create a shortcut. So we'll add scene, and you'll see that the scene will pop up on the top here. It'll also show up in this list. You may right click and rename. And now let's create another scene. Now I want a plan view. So I need to switch to camera, standard views, top. Now we'll select parallel projection. And now let's pick something like a hidden line. We'll hold shift pan. And now let's go with hidden line. And now we've got a top-down view here. And now we will again hit add scene. And then we will right click and rename this scene to plan. And now we've created this scene. And now we can flip between the two. So if I select final design, I'm now returning back to this camera position, this specific type of projection, whether it's perspective or parallel. We're back to perspective. We've also switched back to the style, the construction document that shows textures with the white background, and now we can flip between the two. And now let's say I wanted to update one of these designs. I actually don't like this angle. I think this angle is a little more fitting. I'll move the camera, I'll change some details. I want to move this angle, and also I don't want plants. We're going to right click, select update, and now we've updated this scene. So now when we go back and forth between plan and final design, And now that tag, it remembers the tags, it remembers the style, the camera position, and the camera projection. So this will be one of the ways that we'll use scenes, styles, and tags to manage the view and look of our model. Those scenes are going to be powered by your tags and your styles and your camera projection. So play around with it. There's a lot of creativity possibilities with how you create your scenes.